Hey, what's going on, sports cars fans? Ray from Philly here. It's Friday night, November 11th, 11/11. Friday night vintage. Now, this is an episode of what I like to call the call to the hall. And these are rookie players of baseball cards, of guys that I'm just trying to start a discussion of whether you think these guys deserve to get in, will get in. Not that I'm saying I think they do. It's just a good topic of conversation. I've done 13 episodes so far in a year and a half. This is episode number 14. And just to give you an idea, the rookie cards that I've shown in the previous 13 episodes was the 58 Topps Veda Pinson rookie, 69 Topps Al Oliver rookie, 69 Topps Greg Nettles rookie, 70 Topps Darrell Evans, 92 Bowman Carlos Delgado, 93 Topps traded Jim Edmonds, 71 Topps Bobby Grich rookie, 94 Topps Paul Konerko rookie, 55 Topps Ken Boyer, 2001 Bowman Chase Utley, 1967 Topps Reggie Smith, 1964 Topps Tommy John, and the 91 Fleer Ultra update was Luis Gonzalez, was the last one I did. So this is the 14th episode, and it's just of guys who I feel are might be overlooked and haven't gotten the credit maybe they deserve to at least get a second and third look to try and get in. Now, this particular player just so happens to have been put on the ballot this past week for the new contemporary eras ballot. They used to have 3 eras. Now it's down to 2, which I do think will hurt some other players that are on the contemporary ballot. Now, there's only 8 players that are on this ballot. We'll go over those 8 players a little bit later. And there's some players that aren't even on this ballot this time and have been put on the veterans ballot before in the past. So I don't think it's a good thing narrowing it down to 2 ballots. It used to be, or 2 hours. It used to be 3 hours before. So it's spread it out a little bit more fair, in my opinion. But now with 2, you're condensing a lot of players in different eras, bumping some other players not only to get in, but not even on the ballot now. So it's kind of messed up. But this card that I got, not only is it for this Call to the Hall episode I'm doing, but it's also in 2 PSA set registries that I'm in. One is the Future Hall of Fame set registry, which there's 40 cards in that set, and this is my 24th card. And the other set is one of my favorite sets, definitely in my top 3 or 4 PSA set registries, and that's the 50 Greatest Sluggers and by the Sportingnews. And for that, this is my 38th card, which is pretty darn good out of 50. So without further ado, I'm going to open the package up. I got this actually a few weeks back, and I wanted to wait for the right moment, hoping that this player would be put on the ballot. And by the way, the election for the contemporary ballot will be announced on Saturday, December 4th, which is coming up relatively quick. And I'm stoked to add this player. I've been eyeing this guy for quite a few years, a long time, to get him to pick up his rookie card, because I think he's a great player and I think he's overlooked. He deserves not only to be on this episode of the Call to the Hall, but he should be in the Hall, in my opinion. I've never said that really too much about the other episodes. I just kind of presented it to you and asked what you felt. And that's the 1986 Donruss of the Crying Dog, Fred McGriff, in a Gem Mint 10. I know you can't see the grade label on this view, but I will flip the phone around and give you a closer look. That's for sure. But I am stoked. It's a beautiful card. 86 Donruss is a really nice looking set. And McGriff was just, I think, that kind of like an Eddie Murray, the epitome of consistency. 30 homers almost every year. He averaged 32 homers, 102 RBIs every year. It's a shame he's mixed in. He's part of that steroid era, but if you look at him, you could tell this guy never even was in the same room with anybody doing steroids. He was just a lean, tall, lean machine guy that just raked, and it was a great player. So I'm hoping that December 4th, I'll be back on showing this card again with some good news and hoping that he will get elected on December 4th. So I'm going to flip the phone around, give you guys a closer look at the 86 Donruss Fred McGriff rookie in a PSA 10. Okay, and we're back. So now you get the real good look. 86 Donruss Fred McGriff Gem Mint 10. This card has actually gone up in value over the past year or two. So if you're thinking what I'm thinking, that he has a really good shot of getting in, jump on him now. Because December 4th will be here before you know it. And I'm going to go over the ballot in a minute of who the 8 players that are on the contemporary ballot for 2023 that will be announced on December 4th. And like I said, McGriff was just a great player. Just consistently hit 30-plus homers every year. And I looked at his MVP ballot for how many years he finished in the top 10. And I was surprised. He finished 6 times in the top 10 in MVP voting. So just doesn't get the credit that he deserves. 493 homers. I mean, in my opinion, what killed him was the strike of 1994. He missed out on at least 30 to 40 games that year. And he was 7 homers short of 500. There's a pretty good chance that in 1994 he could have hit 7 more homers. Or at least 6, and would have been 1 homer short. And maybe would have stuck around for another year. But either way, I think right now of all the players that are not in the Hall of Fame, I think this is the biggest travesty one is McGriff. Because his numbers are that good. So there it is, 86 Donruss Fred McGriff, rookie. Let's see the back real quick. Gem Mint 10. Love it. So now we're going to go to the laptop, look at McGriff's career numbers. Then I'm going to show you guys the contemporary ballot of the 8 players that are on the list right now. And that's it. So hold on a second. We'll get some more information. Okay. And we're back. So I'm on my favorite website once again, Baseball Reference. Just to go over Mr. McGriff's career statistics. He is a 5-time All-Star, 1995 World Series champion, 3 times Silver Slugger Award winner. His career numbers are 2,490 career hits, which is really good. 284 career batting average, 1,349 runs scored, 1,950 RBIs, which is really good. My favorite player of all time, Lee Schmidt, has 1,495 RBIs, and he has more. McGriff, 1,550 is really, really good. And the big number, 193 career homers. The two biggest players for me that are travesties that are not going to pick down credit. So, 493 career Tampa Bay for a few years, and then Chicago, and back and the Dodgers and Tampa Bay for 1 year. I just can't believe that no one picked him up for 1 more year to have him try and get to 500 homers. I mean, today that would be a travesty that, a player would retire at 493 career home runs. Back down to the bottom here of what Baseball Reference has is called similar
better
batters.
time with a
And you'll be amazed at this. First of all, his Hall of Fame monitor is 100. A likely Hall of Famer usually has
the season during the Hyundai Getaway sales event.
his similar batters, according to Baseball Reference. 10 similar batters, 6 of them are Hall of Famers. Willie McCovey. So these are batters that they're saying he has similar numbers to. Willie McCovey, Willie Stargell, Jeff Bagwell, David Ortiz, Frank Thomas, and Billy Williams. So he was on the BBWA ballot for all 10 years, which I do think will help him because there's been players like Lee Smith and other players that were on the BBWA ballot for the entire term. And then the first time they got on the Veterans Committee, got elected on the first ballot. That's what I'm thinking is going to happen this year. His best year on the ballot was his last year in 2019. where he finished with 39.8%. So he was consistent every year. Now, let's go on over to the ballot for the 2023 Contemporary Baseball Hall of Fame ballot. The 8 players they have listed are Albert Bell, Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, Don Mattingly, Crime Dog, Fred McGriff, Dale Murphy, Rafael Palmeiro, and Curt Schilling. Now, what's weird is that they condensed some of these guys, like 2 guys right off the bat, 3 guys right off the bat. Bonds, Clemens, and Schilling were on their last year of the BBWAA ballot only 11 months ago in January. And now this is their first year on the Veterans Committee Eras ballot. And now it's going to be interesting to see what their own peers are going to be thinking about them, especially Bonds and Clemens. So I think of these guys, the ones that have the best shots are McGriff and Schilling. Schilling, you know, is just because of his mouth has been keeping him out, and I think his peers are going to realize that that's ridiculous. I do think Schilling gets voted in, and I do think McGriff finally gets voted in. Bonds and Clemens, I think we'll probably have to wait till the next ballot for this, but nothing shocks me. I wouldn't be surprised if Bonds and Clemens gets in on this ballot. But on the Hall of Stats, which is another site that I've shown you guys, okay, there's some players that are being left off of this ballot. Like 3 players come to mind: Lou Whitaker, Dwight Evans, Keith Hernandez, and Dave Parker. So there's 4 players right there that were always on the Veterans Committee ballots every year the ballot came up. Now those 4 guys are being bumped off because they've condensed the errors to have too many years combined together. I just don't think it's the right thing to do. I think they should have had McGriff, Clemens, Bonds, Albert Bell, Schilling, Kevin Brown, Kenny Lofton, David Cohn, Palmeiro. Those guys are fine to be in that same era. But I think Parker and Garvey and Whitaker and Dwight Evans should have been on a older ballot. If guys played further back. They used to have the golden age, and then they had the modern era and the today's era. So I had 3 eras, and then even had a 4th era, which was way back early days. So they had 4. So now there's only 2, and now you're condensing a lot of decades mixed in, which now is bumping off players that were consistently on the ballot and making the move up. Now I don't know what's going to happen with guys like Hernandez and my guy Dave Parker and Steve Garvey and Lou Whitaker and Dwight Evans. I mean, these were great players, but I guess what's going to have to happen is a couple of these guys for this year's 2023 ballot are going to have to get in to make room. Thing is that on the Veterans Committee ballot, they usually don't vote for 3 or 4 guys to get in. It's usually 1, maybe 2. That's why, in my opinion, it really should be Bonds and Clemens. But what I think is going to happen is McGriff and Schilling. But we'll see. This is my favorite time of the year. So is talking and looking at Hall of Fame potential. So one more last look at the 86 Donruss, Crime Dog, Fred McGriff rookie, Gem Mint 10. Go grab him. I think he's going to make the Hall. So there you have it, the call to the episode, number 14. I hope you guys liked it. I appreciate all your likes and comments. Speaking of the Hall of Fame, don't forget to check out me and Mike, the Baseball Card Life, and Victor, the Rookie Card Specialist, other YouTube channel, Sports Card Hall of Fame Network. We're going to be having more content coming out soon, trying to consistently. Until then, guys, like I always say, have fun with it. Go McGriff. See you guys real soon. Bye-bye.